I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is January 21st, Wednesday, 2026. Hope you had a good day today. So we talked about either, rolling over to take that low that we made yesterday and then shooting back up into here. And that's exactly what we did. Can't make this shit up. Talked about possible different seasonalities of, I think this was the 5 year where we came up, we rolled over, we took it out, then popped back up. So right now we've accomplished this. We pushed up, we squeezed out, came down, and then we got into the gap here. And something I not sure why I didn't mention it yesterday, but obviously if you look at this screen here, you'll see that when we opened up and we gapped on Friday's low, that's unfair. So what if somebody has a position here and automatically they're fucking obviously opening down here? So what's the point is that they need to get mitigated, right? And that's super unfair, like super unfair. So that would be a minimum target in this area. Sure enough, the way they did it with the news and all this bullshit, tariffs and pausing and all whatever, this shit's gonna happen no matter what. So another option I was giving you was, just straight up, right? Because the daily candle closed like this, and then we get another bottom, and then it just a low of the day, and then it'd be a bullish day. So what did these all? If you watch yesterday's video, what do these examples have in common? They're all buying. So let's go right into the fire, because that's how I attack this shit, bro. So, can't make this shit up, right? So I'm giving you an example of yesterday, telling you where we're going to go, right? So yesterday, look, we didn't take out that low. So if you watched it, you'll see that I got out literally at the low here, right? Not waiting to break that low, okay? Which we made in yesterday's pre-New York session, right? What was the level here? 25,100 to then 25,000 even. Notice how we came inside it. But notice how we didn't get to the 25,000 level specifically. Why? That's trying to not be perfect, right? But the logic was still there. So guess what? If I held on to the trade, yeah, okay, it blew through and it took out these lows. But guess what happened? We never took it out, and we retraced all through Asia and parts of London, right? Hitting back into the 930 level of yesterday. Look at that right there. See that? We tagged that. That's perfect. And then we finale, you can see the language here coming into here, and 2 standard deviations on the Asia range. And then look, top left, we've came a little bit lower now into the strength of momentum buyers from here. So I've already got the play out. I've already got the layout of the land already formed out. Look at this price action. It's already showing me that this is a classic, most likely buy day, where we open up. You have obviously the opening day gap in the red, and then you have the midnight level, which is in this orange. My price, right while I'm screenshotting this, it's laying on the midnight level. It's in the background. It's there. You just hard to see it, and you'll see that they used it as support, then broke into resistance, breaking down. But point is anything below that open of if either level, all right, the algorithmic level is going to be on the midnight level. That's what they're going to reference. New York time always. I don't care if you live in Uganda. All right, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be New York time. This algorithm runs off of New York time, period. So your clock should be set to it. And so the midnight level is just like the open of the daily open, right? And you should know this by now, technically, right? But in general speaking, anything below that open day level is going to be the best buys of the bullish day, and vice versa if it's selling. So we're going to treat the midnight level the exact same way. But what am I doing here? Well, I've already got a raid of these equal lows, right? Very, very clear. So the agenda, and we're in a deep discount. We have to understand that, right? We're on a discount, and even on the oversold RSI, as goofy as that may seem for some people that I use it, you know, hey, it works great when you need it, but not even need it, but like, it's just extra confluence. But in general speaking, you're looking to get now easy sellers here, right? So I have the narrative already as far as a raid goes, and then I have this as a possible inversion, and then we're accumulating here. So what I'm doing is I'm getting into that 9 o'clock 1 hour candle right here. I can't get any more clear. I normally do not want to trade anytime before 9:30 specifically, period, right? The only exception that I will do that is in a scenario like this. So for example, when I wake up and I see this price action down here, I'm not looking at it like we're going to sink to hell. I look at, especially with Trump talking today, that's a whole nother key factor, but to keep the scam alive. But when I see this, I look at this as it's going to be a buying day, right? So we open up, we accumulate, sells down, manipulation down with this, and it's time to rip it up for the distribution side. Look at the 4 hour candle as well. When the 4 hour candle crosses over, this is the 6 to the 10 o'clock 4 hour candle. Once we cross over that level, I mean, it is a second, it is a candle, it is a reversal type of candle, and for a swing low to be formed. And then, as you could see very clear, I don't make this difficult at all. All right, I've already got them squeezing out here, and then I have a shift of structure on that high right there. But what was more important was as this range from here to here, which was this low to this high, I know 50% is sitting right there. And what's there? Oh, well, you have a beautiful suspension block, gap on both sides. It's a high probability imbalance. And either way, it's a fucking imbalance. It breaks through that range, but this is coming right back to 50%. We tag in, look at the bodies respecting, then takes the fuck off right there, right? So beautiful. And this is the 9 o'clock candle that we're trying to catch. Right. So anyways, what do? I take it straight to the midnight level. Why? Because like right there is where liquidity is. And they're referencing that. And the Asia range, especially, is sitting right in the middle. Look how the midnight level is sitting right in the middle of the Asia range, right? But the point is, we also come back in here. This is also an imbalance. I didn't draw it. It was just happening so fast. I was like, oh, okay. And it went straight to my target. Okay, cool, which is my midnight level. Yeah, I understand that this is possible, but I'm going to wait for 9:30 now to do its thing because it's 9:15. God knows what this thing can do, right? So let's take a look at the next mission here. So there's the midnight level that I just screenshotted it taking out. So then we get this funky ass price action with this whipping. And I'm just like, okay, let me stay away from you fuckers. So 9:30 comes in, right? We get a couple drives down, right? We get 3 drives down. We get the 1, pops up. 2, I'll count that both, pops up. 3. So I end up trying to get in the second retrace here. And where are we going? Well, look at the midnight. Look at the opening day gap, right? We're sweeping underneath that. Why? Because I just said that when it's underneath here, it's the best buys, right? So when we shoot right fucking through, that means someone's pushing buy here, right? So they're coming to try to sweep that and scare them away. In reality, it's also getting people involved as well. But point is, X marks the spot, dude. I mean, this imbalance is created right inside. And 50% is sitting right inside that gap. So that's on purpose, right? And you can see everything's clearly highlighted. Now I highlighted this imbalance here, but now I have this imbalance and I have this last down candle. Notice that we don't take out this low of that down candle. That's what you want to see when you're bullish. Anyways, I bought it here. So it shoots up. We get the first imbalance of today, which is right there, right? And then we fail. I'm like, bitch. So they took me out. Okay, fine. No problem. Hey, I take losses all the time. My execution isn't going to be perfect. And guess what? Because of it, and I hesitated, this is how I got filled here. Because now when I got rated and I see this strong candle, I said, okay, well, what if they run this price action. I said, okay, I'll leave it alone. But as you could see on the 15-minute, which is clear, we have a 15-minute imbalance. I didn't mark that, but I should. Just like fucking yesterday's situation. I didn't mark it, but I understood where we were. So I was okay with still buying. But once I see these two momentum candles pushing up, and now we're sweeping back above that first imbalance, I would normally try to push enter here on momentum. Notice this candle, how this little candle right here. See this little candle right here? See how it dips right on top of that imbalance? So it's reclaimed again, and it is the first imbalance, and it's the top 25 quadrant of the opening range gap. Notice the midnight level is the same level as the 930. Now, no one knows that this midnight level is the true open for the algo. So how is it a coincidence that it opened up at 930? So they're matching. They're doing that on purpose, right? Just like these first imbalances, they're referencing. So to me, it's like, in my back testing and forward testing, it's like they're just trying to place specific levels so the algorithm can kind of like go right back to it easier, instead of relying on the old data that they used for you to initially get there. They're adding another piece of confluence there or level there, so then the algorithm can go back to it on an easier scale. That's my opinion, right? That's what I think. But anyways, so when this is pushing up, I don't have a clear confirmation of it, if it's going to be buying or not, even though it's obviously engulfing, right? And I know that. So this is what I do. Well, first of all, I'm literally slow motion here. I'm already content from buying this up here, right? So then this candle pushes up, doesn't break this high yet, and then retraces back. Sitting on that 930 pretty much. And then we get this boner candle here. Boom. Pushes up. Now we break this high, this swing high. That's a shift in market structure. So what does that mean to me? Oh, we're buying to our targets. Now, when the price comes up and then you get this down candle, comes right back into this down candle. This is preferably where I would have wanted my entry to be. But guess what? Because if it was moving so fast, it pushed up on me, and then I end up getting filled here. But it's on the right side of the curve, so it's now from here, it's just gone, right? But this is where my entry would have preferably have been. Obviously, it would have been nice to get filled here, but or here, because a closure of this, and there's a bearish imbalance here that I'm not highlighting. But we obviously engulf that, and that becomes an inversion, and it's gone, right? The point is that, I understand where the price is going here. I have more of a clear confirmation. And where am I going? If you look to the left here, well, we've already swept that London high here in the right before 930, right? But then I have the first imbalance of yesterday. So I know we're going to reference that. And then what else? What am I doing here? I know that we're squeezing out people who fucking sold here. Remember, I fucking sold from yesterday right here. Here. I sold from right up here. And when it broke that swing low, and if you watch yesterday's video, this was an easy fucking sell yesterday. Okay? So I'm attacking that, right? We're in a discount already. We're into this 101.5 that you saw my projection I talked about yesterday. You're like, well, why didn't you, hold it or try to sell for coming down here? Because it's not realistic. Because of the fact that they're fanning out, they're making equal highs here, and this is unfair. This shit up here is fucking bogus, right? So, anyways, I'm going that way. What's the other key confluence? What's the low here of the day? The low of the day already is 25,025. So 25,000 and a quarter, right? If the average daily range is 350 points, right? 375 points today. So let's just say 350 points. What's 300 points plus 25,025? That would be 3,000. That would be 25,325. That would be 300 points. Where's my target here? Where's my target? My first target here in this trade. What is the look where the price is? 25,320, right? So if I know that the bottom is 3,000, sorry, 25,025 plus 300 points is 325. So what's over here? All right, I'm circling this on purpose right here like this. Okay, number one, notice the circle is above that first imbalance. Why? Because look at this little piece of liquidity right there. Right? I need to get above that. Right? I'm sweeping that. That's where my trailing starts. Number one. Number two, what's this level here? Up here. Look to the right. What do you think that level would be? 375. So you see 325. I just told you it was 300 points, 350 points for an average daily range, right? It could be much more, obviously, right? It was way more than that, obviously. But the point is that bare minimum, 350 points. Well, if I'm taking this trade to 325 points, that's 300 points. Where's my other 50? What would be 50 more points? That would be 375. Where's 375? The fucking high of this specific circle. That is very specific that what I'm doing. And what am I doing? I'm squeezing out anyone selling out here, right where I was selling. I didn't sell from here. I sold from up higher. Okay. And then we have the gaps here. And that was the logic completely here. So price shoots up. We get this imbalance pops in. And then we're above that first imbalance from yesterday. Oh, what do I do then? You can't make this up. What do I do then? Well, you see me get screenshotted right here. Okay, right here. Then what does it do? It retraces back. Where does it retrace back to? It's at 50% of that first imbalance of yesterday. Look. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. So out of all the price action where this is, you're telling me that that's buyers and sellers that did that? So what does it do? It retraces right back into that 50%. This is going to be used as support. This is, let's just call it technically it's a reclaimed imbalance, a bullish imbalance, but we'll treat it as an inversion, right? But it's not. I'm just trying to give you the mental picture, and it's sitting at 20. We tag in the 25. We tag in the 50%, right? So what am I doing? I'm trying to get to my fucking hurrah, right? Where's that? 375. Period, right? So we tag in and it rushes for it. Squeeze the fuck out. I'm done for the day. Why am I done for the day? It's 10:15. Yes, I understand that there's an expansion happening in the fucking 10-hour, 4-hour candle, which I'm upset that I didn't keep holding it. But I was content. And because of this trade that I took pre-New York, usually what it'll do is it'll make me very comfortable or content, and I won't take any more trades. And it's just what it is. But I got the whole leg from here to here. All right. And then from here to here. All right. And then from here to here. All right. So one buy, two buys, three buys, plenty more after that. Fire. Oh, well, actually, before I even leave off, I understand that there's possibilities of up here, previous day highs and this and that. But what if this is a lower high? What if this becomes a lower high and then they sink it right back down? That could have happened, right? So what did I do? I played it smooth. Period. Now, if you go back into price action, let me tell you, this is where I got a little irked. I got irked a couple times, but I was done. So here, you can see me getting out right there, right? It pops back in, comes into these last down candles. I was like, dude, buy it. I was like, fucking buy it. It's going to continue up for another drive. Sure enough, it bought up, went straight up, went right to the low of the opening gap. This, which is also, that's obviously sweeping that liquidity there, and then the open of today, of the week. But what's to the left here also? Look at the imbalance on the opening range gaps. Where's 50% there? 50% is right there. It's also that there's a gap in the background. I didn't highlight it on the 1 minute, but it's there. It doesn't matter, but it's sitting on each other. And also the 4 standard deviations in the Asia range. And then at the time I didn't have this marked here, but I measured this from here to here because that's the last swing down. Look at -1. And it's all sitting in this fucking area. And I was just like, dude, so, when the price retraced right back here, back to the 1 minute, I wanted to buy this, but I was like, nah, I ain't fucking with these people. I'm leaving them alone. And I had a great day. Just leave it alone. And sure enough, straight to it, dude. Like algorithmically, look, it's dancing. You fucking really think buyers and sellers did that? How is that possible, man? But anyways, I have the purple, which is the gap, and it's quadded here, and then I have this. There's a gap in the background here, and I got that quadded right there, sitting right there. Look where we go. Can't make this up. Look where we go. Look where we go. See this right here? I'm going to move this over. And let me move this over. So it's not on top of each other. Okay. This is that gap in the background. We've been using that. And you know it works. Because look at this. Look. Look, motherfucker. Look. What's the high on this candle? The high on this candle up here. The high on this candle is 494 and a quarter. What's this level here? What's this level here? 494 and a half. Wow. 494 and a half. And then the high 4 and a quarter. So a tick. All right. Point is what? Well, this is why I was salty, because when I wanted to buy this, I wanted to come up and then aim for that liquidity of yesterday, which would be the previous day's high, and also Monday's or Sunday night's high or whatever, right? And I did not. So it was just going without me, and I was irked, but I had the possibility to buy it again right here, and I was like, dude, you're so right. And then you had this right here, and then whatever, you had a little balance right there, but then to the tick. And then when we were here, I was like, bro, sell it. I'm like, sell it, because the thing is, this is a classic buy day as of now. If you look at it like this, right? It's printed like a classic buy day. Okay, when you look at it, so you have your manipulation down, distribution back up for AMD, right? So that's why I left it alone, because not only was the daily candle already kind of printed, but I mean, it just technically it should have closed high. Okay, I'm not saying we can't do that still now, but and it's still it's only 350. But the point is that was the logic of it. So I'm not getting married to trying to push up or anything. I have to be content, and I'm done. Anyways, but and I'm saying all this to say that the mistakes that I make is this, or possible mistakes. Even though it's great to step back and be content, but it's early. So this is where I'm going to give you to the Sapphire. This is early. All right. It's not even London close, and it's sitting here. So I was like, what if it kind of fucks around? So I left it alone. But then I was like, dude, you got these 3 consecutive candles. There's an inversion here on the middle one. I'm not going to draw it. There's also a bearish imbalance in here. I'm not going to draw it. But we're tagging in it. Look at the bottom here. Algorithmic. And I'm like, dude, sell it. And if I had sold it, I would have took it to where would you have sold it to? Well, you can take it right back to that first imbalance here. You've got this liquidity, sell side here. We got liquidity here. And then that was the breakout level. You got a breakout from this high, right? And then you have another breakout. So, and then this was easy to buy here, right? So if you took the sell, it's retracing back to like a sort of mean reversion. And that's if I took the sell. And I was like, dude, because time was involved, and it was London close, and I'm like, okay, well, London close might probably retrace back and hunt some of this easy liquidity. This was fucking easy, once you got past here, it was easy. Okay, let's just keep it real. And sure enough, I couldn't believe it. It just kept sinking and sinking and sinking. And where did it go? Well, obviously swept this easily, but obviously first 930. Because we bought right after it leaves 930. And then there's the opening gap for today. And look how the body's sitting inside. Why would buyers and sellers fucking do that? They would not do that. Doesn't make any fucking sense. But because they know we know. We're making decisions off that, right? So look at speaker there, right? In a way, but just a more of a mean reversion, but really deep. And I was like, bro, you gotta be joking. So then when this is happening, I'm like, okay, yo, what if they blow right through? That'd be bogus because look how this straight reversal, look at this U. I haven't seen this price action in a long time, actually. But my experience says, well, dude, it's only going to do two things. It's either going to blow through, well, three things. It's either going to close here, or it's going to blow through and sell down, or it's going to buy back up. And you're going to be like, dude, the huge retracement like that and still buy back up? I was sitting back and I knew it. And I was like, no way, bro. No way. I'm like, watch them bitches go all the way up. And that's what they did. Man, let me tell you, scam. I love it though. But when when we make this low here and then we're popping up, it should stop here. Price shouldn't be going any higher than this. It should literally start making a new lower low. But what did it do? It does this. It makes another high here. That's awkward. That's awkward for selling. I'll tell you that right now. It shouldn't be doing that. And look at the coincidence. It comes back into this imbalance right here, and then it just shoots the fuck off. And I was sitting back doing some other shit, chilling, and I was like, no way, bro. No way. So, anyways, to the tick there, bruh. Straight to the opening range gap and sealing it. But where is it? Oh, you don't say. That breakout level from Friday. When that was unfair, look to the right. That was the whole goal. By the way, also, we were on an oversold with the 1 hour super key. And that's why coming up here, that's why I left it alone once we got up here. But that was framing the buy today. Okay. Very simple. And they came in, I don't care if it's bullish or bearish from here. That was the point of that. What was today most likely going to do? And that was going to be this coming back up. Squeezing that out, balancing that, and we still have a little bit left in there. And then they came all the way back where breakout area. So when we broke out of here, they're retracing back, dancing in the top 25 and the 50%. You see it, dude? I mean, you see it. But fuck me, man. I what an amazing amount of movement. Fuck, dude, I couldn't believe it on the day that I get content. And I'm not making it up. I mean, I literally saw it in a nice sell that when we. Anyways, let me stop rambling, bro, because this is wild. So as you see, VIX, we were also what's it called? We was coming down here with VIX, and we were pushing up, and then when we hit this low here, and on an oversold. Yes, it's sitting on there, and then it starts popping up. This is when we ended up selling that first time for that big retracement. And then it popped up, and then it started doing this here and, acting like some type of resistance here. We're on an overbought here. And then sure enough, we were accumulating, and then we started coming back down while we pushed back up. And then super stupid gap here. And you'll see price action live. We gap here, but, now the price is all the way shooting up. So just super really nice. I mean, fuck me. If you ask me, this was beautiful as fuck. And dollar looks crazy right now. Just doesn't look good for dollar. But if it rolls over, then maybe that gives us the opportunity to go up. But it's pretty much an equilibrium situation. I don't really have much to say to that. But here, also the other purpose of us buying and me sticking with that logic is the lower lows here with Dow, higher lows here, higher lows there, and we're going up already. This was already pre-New York, so that's, if you saw my first trade, that was initially why I was buying up, because we had a change of delivery, we had an imbalance there and all that, so we had everything we needed, which is, this was a divergence already here for us. And then when I see a shift of structure with that range, you can see 50%, I'm looking to get filled somewhere or buy somewhere in this understanding. But And then once we got up here, this is that beautiful retracement I talked about. We had a higher high here with Nas, lower highs here, and then I just fell right at it. I couldn't believe how easy it was, dude. I was like, nah, man, no way. But hey, it is what it is. I'm human. So, and then we came down with S&P. We took out those lows there, and then there were higher lows here with them, with Dow and Nas, and we just shot the fuck up, man. And just that was it, bro. And look at this. Oh, wow, what a coincidence. Yeah, buyers and sellers brought it right back to that price. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So well, to me, this looks like a break of structure where it's very sensitive. And if we make another low from here, I will then say that we are bearish. And that sounds kind of rough and crazy, but I mean, we would have to make another low here. That would be structurally bearish to me. As of right now, it's just really just a pullback and it's bullish. I mean, we have to kind of flow with that, and that's what it is. Yeah, not a coincidence. They swept here. Look at the gap just sitting right to the tick, bounces up, and I'm really mad at myself that I didn't take this sell. And I wouldn't have bought this, and I wouldn't have did that. But the sell here was just super. It was easy, and I just was so content. I just like, I'll just leave it alone. And sure enough, dude, I just didn't want to get caught into something where it just retraced. Took some low liquidity or close to liquidity, and then just started, birding back up and just, fucking doing all that shit. Like so that was the right decision to not. But I mean, man, it just couldn't believe such an easy day. And yeah, squeezing back almost to 930 breakout and pushing back up. So S&P, similar story, obviously. With a closure like that, though, it's something just to me seems very suspect. But they rushed for this easy liquidity because I mean, listen, man, everyone's trying to sell this, and I took sells in these days too, right? So, but notice today, I was only buying, right? Because I understand that this is a high probability. And the seasonal data even called for it. That's why I was giving you those examples, so I don't just be out here just talking, drawing fucking shit. As you can see here, 930 at 50% of their opening range, popped up to that gap right there, squeezing the liquidity from yesterday's New York session. Not the high though. And once they do that, that's why we got this big retrace. If you're wondering, wow, what the fuck was that? Well, it's because everyone and their mother knew he was buying today, right? That's for sure. Number two, once they took out the liquidity to the left, well, dude, I mean, all this easy buy. I mean, I was buying this shit since 9 o'clock, right? So, this run up, they're coming back down to get that, and then it's a new rush back up for a new high. So, what else am I saying here? And Nvidia was at the time was also a good thing. Well, not good thing, but when we got down the other day, maybe I didn't explain it more clearly, but why do you think we came to this area? It was because this is a breakout. Bink. So I understood that, and that's why I was selling yesterday, right? Because we gapped and then we were selling down into this breakout. But then today, you can see that it's sitting there, right? And then what's this? Easy selling, and then there's a gap here. So we pushed up initially, we retrace, and then we push back up, and that's what we're at. This is also part of the fucking confluence. I don't really think there's anything else to say. We're sitting this 101.5 here. Do we make a new high from this, and is this bullish enough to hold here? And that's why if you go look at the videos, I showed up, down, up, down, up, right? Is that not shaking out? Yeah, pretty good, dude. Can't make that shit up, bro, right? I don't know who's doing that, but after today, though, it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to trade. If I look at the seasonal data back into it and go watch yesterday's, well, I mean, I kind of already discussed some of it here. There is a third one that I didn't include. So there's this one where we roll over, we come up, we retrace back. I think this was the This was kind of the 30-year, right? Yeah, that was the 30-year here, I think. And and this was the 15-year. This was, yeah, right? Yeah. This was the 15-year. Which they're not like out of the picture or anything. But here was more like, okay, well, we roll over and then come up, come deep, and kind of, this is kind of like what it's looking like, even though I'm elaborate with the drawing, but we have the rest of the 10 days to see what it does. But, did we, well, whatever we rolled here, but we came up into here, we play around, does this roll over for a lower high, and then we come back down again, and this would be technically also like the 5-year, right? So the 5-year and the 5 and the 15-year are very, they look pretty similar. And then the 30-year, the only difference with the 30-year is that it should have stayed shallow. So well, I didn't have the other option in here. We'll just say this, where it's shallow here, and then it rolls over again. But I don't know what else I could say. Now I'm getting irritated that I'm rambling here. I'm doing way too much for no one's even watching it. So, but here I have this projection here, that -1, that -1.5 right there, which was nice. I didn't draw that when I was trading, but I should have. I would have been more inclined to get into this -1 up here, and yeah, I left it alone, man. But it was pretty nice. I know it looks a little busy, but it's fire, man. Just fire, buddy. What the fuck? So, again, classic buy day. We raid liquidity. They got to come up and raid liquidity. They're coming back down to raid liquidity. They're going back up to raid the easy sell liquidity and ultimately get to this imbalance. So, I mean, just like, God, I'm so fucking a little irritated right now that wasn't a part of this sell right here. But hey, I'm grateful because caught most of this leg up here, right? So what else is there to say? I feel like I'm missing something. So man, it's like fucking back to equilibrium in a way. So look at the range here. 50%. We were underneath it, we came up to it. Right, and now the price isn't too far from it. Right? You have equilibrium here. Look where the price is. Look where the price is right now. And look where this is, 50% of this range. So it's kind of like, okay, if we were to, do a basic trend line here, is this a break? Okay, cool. That might be a break. Rising wedge, breaks, this a lower high. In a normal world, this would be a lower high here that we're making right now, right? And then we find ourselves rolling over to make a new lower low, right? That would be the most basic way I could say that if we're bearish. But with it getting saved here, and it's still early in the year, and all this other bullshit, it could still rise up. So we have a support going on. This down candle right here. You can measure even this wick on this weekly right here, the Monday the 15th, December 15th. You could see that. I mean, it was overkill. I didn't need it, but man, coming right back to that daily. You guys take care. God bless.